All right, T, what's going on? Got a review today on the Real Steel G-frame. This is the N690 version titanium ball bearing flipper. Sent to me by Real Steel a little bit ago. I did an unboxing video, had a lot of time with it, carrying it, using it. I'll roll in some usage footage as well as it cutting, but it's a really nice little knife. Really dig it for the money. Knowing that there's an S35 version out there for about the same cost though, I would go that way. I'll link in the description, White Mountain Knives. I have a 10% off code. It's only be even cheaper, and you still get titanium, but you get a little bit of upgraded steel. So, but the knife itself is pretty great. So let's talk about specs real quick. We're gonna use our handy level here just because it has a measuring ruler on it. It's just shy of 8 inches on overall length, so about 7 3/4, I'll call it. Overall length, your blade length is probably 3 1/4 inch of actual cutting edge, so a good sized cutting edge. You have a nice sharpening choil there as well, which I do appreciate as a sharpener. If you sharpen your knives, you appreciate those kind of things. Talking to you, Spyderco. Anyway, so lightweight for sure. The scales are not skeletonized though, just as an FYI. They are just 2 slabs of titanium. No skeletonization's been done, but it still weighs in at 2.6 ounces. So it's super, that is light. Lighter than I thought it was. Yeah, 2.6, not lying. So 2.6 ounces is pretty dang light, and I can see why they didn't make the scales even lighter by lightening them, because it's just not necessary. So under 3 ounces for an EDC that size is pretty good. You do have titanium frame lock, like we talked about, wire pocket clip, deep carry. I like wire clips. Some people don't like the aesthetics of them. A lot of companies make replacement ones. This one would be unique to this knife, I'm sure. But it works well. I've always enjoyed wire clips just because they function really well. It doesn't look bad either, you know. A lot of people want a milled clip. For the money, you're fine. You do have a steel lock bar insert. Like I said, does run on bearings. Flipper action is not drop shut yet. I haven't taken this knife apart, but you can get it about right there. I think I can get it there. The pivot has no play right now, up and down, left or right, so that's always a positive. So I can loosen the pivot, and I might get some play though. It's my only concern, so not gonna do it. Not too concerned about the drop shuttiness. Ergonomically, the knife is great. Feels good in the hand. It's just a nice neutral handle design. You got jimping in 2 places here, back here and up here. Kind of weird though that they didn't just jimp this all the way. They just have this little gap right there. But the jimping works great. It's not too aggressive. It really locks your finger in. So, and the blade itself is really nice. It's really thin behind the edge. I think I measured it about 14 thousandths behind the edge. My calipers are MIA right now, as usual. So, but it is thin behind the edge, and it has a nice slicey thin blade stock. So it just slices really nicely. It's just a good cutting tool. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and roll in the footage. So as you can see, I cut through some that Gatorade bottle, pretty hard plastic. Through that, no problem. Even the bottom of those is like really tough. No big deal. Went through that. And then in cardboard, it just shreds. Just loves eating cardboard. So it's just a really slicey knife. I used it to cut some tri-tip the other day that I had smoked. Kind of used it as a steak knife. Works great for that. So if you wanted to go out with the wife or whatever and take a knife with you to the restaurant, not use their crappy knives, and use a knife like this, it just has a really nice blade profile for cutting in general, but kind of that like trailing point, drop point. Only a drop point, but it kind of has a little bit of a trailing point to it. If it didn't drop off right here as much, it would. You have this swedge up here. It's like a fuller actually, and it does not allow you to open the knife because it's the idea, the design of this knife is to be mostly enclosed in the handle. So you're not gonna be able to get your finger in there. There's just not any room. Yeah, there's just no way either side. So you are stuck with just a flipper, which in this design, I don't mind because it's so thin and slim. Overall length, it just really a slim carry. Works good. So it's a nice gentleman's carry knife. Good for, like I said, a steak knife. Just lots of good uses for it. Use it for some food prep. Just did great. Any kind of cutting I threw at this knife, it did fantastic with. The edge, this is factory. It's still pretty sharp. Let's see if I have any paper handy. And it cuts through cardboard like butter. This is kind of hard stuff to cut through because it's really thin. But you can see this is that crinkly paper that they put in packages and stuff. Cut through that. Still very sharp edge. So the N690 has held up to my use pretty well. I haven't even stropped it, done anything to it. So it's the N690 is not a bad steel, guys. It's not like, super steel, but most of us don't need a super steel in our day-to-day. If, they're out there, people are going to buy them. Hence Magna Cut's all the rage right now. Everyone's making nice and Magna Cut. It's a good steel overall, but I don't know. Most of us, if you put a blank blade with no marking, we wouldn't even know. So, but overall, I do like this knife. I think, for the price point, I think the S35 version's around 110 bucks, 115 bucks on White Mountain Knives. I will link it down below. You can use my code for 10% off, which I'll also have there. I think it's EDCWMK. I'll give you an extra 10% off. You can get this with S35. So even a slight upgrade from N690. N690 is more like a VG10, so I would say it's a pretty good upgrade actually. S35 is a pretty good upgrade, but so you could buy this N690 version, or you could just go buy that exclusive from White Mountain Knives. Support him. Justin's a great guy, and you can get this knife in a little bit better steel. That's what I would recommend. I do highly recommend the knife, period. I think it's great. This has been a design that they've milked the heck out of with the G-slip and the Metamorph, I think it was called. All very similar. It's just got Olstop-Hell's design language for sure. But this is essentially your titanium frame lock flipper version of it. So really fantastic knife. Definitely recommend it for the money. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.